A man tried to smuggle 350 pounds of meat across the border. That's no baloney. Actually, there was some baloney.
A crazed nude woman was caught on camera running around a building on all fours. You can buy the rest of the video on her OnlyFans.
The California Senate will require toy sections to have gender-neutral displays, hoping to further confuse children.
Ford releases a new truck, the Very Gay Raptor, and Subaru is still making all of their cars for lesbians.
Also, we're fact-checking the fact-checkers today. Topic, ivermectin.
The CEO of a game company that made Killing Floor 2 was forced to step down after pro-life tweets.
All this and more on...
The Bee Weekly.
The bee or not the bee? That is the question I ask myself every morning as I drink from my The Bee or Not the Bee mug. Now you too can drink from this amazing coffee cup and ask yourself the same question. Which is better? It's so hard to decide. In fact, I would say it's absolutely the Babylon Bee, but Not the Bee is pretty cool too. Enjoy this mug. All right, hey everybody. It's the Babylon Bee podcast, and here we are. We're sitting here, and Kyle's not here, so we got Adam.
Yep, I'm Adam.
Adam Yenser. You guys might
thanks for
remember
having
him.
me again.
Adam's been joining us quite a bit lately. You might have seen him on some sketches we've been doing.
Yeah, it's been fun working with you guys.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. You should check out you're a stand-up comedian. You
Yes.
worked on Ellen.
I worked on Ellen.
Yeah,
I'm free now, so I can.
You're free to work with
Yeah,
us schlubs.
exactly. I survived 10 years as an open conservative at Ellen.
Hey,
so.
open conservative.
Yeah.
I've seen, if you watch his stand-up, also you'll actually just like, I like how you offhandedly just be making a joke, be like, I mean, I'm against abortion, but blah, 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 blah.
Yes. Oh, I love getting the audience on board as much as I can, and then just pushing them as much as I can to see if I can still keep them laughing. But yeah.
Very good, very good. So if you guys haven't been watching our YouTube channel, I became the Hulk this week. And
You didn't, no special effects either. You pulled that out of yourself. You were
yeah,
able to turn
if you
green.
hold your breath at the right level, then you start to turn green.
Yeah.
And your eyes turn red. So we did this, and we actually, for subscribers, we released the outtakes or the bloopers or whatever you want to call it, the bonus footage. Because I basically writhed around like a maniac for like 2 hours straight. It felt like, I don't know how long it took, but it felt like a long time.
Yeah, we were all waiting to leave. It definitely felt like 2 hours.
Felt like forever. You guys are sitting there in the audience.
Getting hit by fragments of
Yeah, I was throwing apples at you.
apples, trophies.
There's a part in
You
that.
swung an axe.
I swung an axe. There's a part in that where I bit into a fork that was one of those, it's silver looking, but it's actually plastic. And it shattered like a CD. Like, you know how, like, remember the first time you decided to break a CD? And it's just shocking. Did you know? Like, I didn't know.
I didn't know a plastic fork would do that. It really did. It
like
sprayed
shattered.
outwards, and it seemed like some of it went back in your mouth.
It's like it had wanted to explode its whole life, and I just allowed it to happen. And so it just like went in my mouth, and I had a shard of sharp plastic in the back of my throat for the rest of the night.
I like at the time you were like choking and gagging. We're like, "Are you all right?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And you kept drinking water, and you said, "I want to make sure it doesn't go down the wrong pipe." And I was like,
afraid I was gonna like breathe in and go.
But it's like the prong of a plastic fork. There's not a right pipe for that
That's
to go
true.
down.
There is no proper pipe.
It's just different damage it's gonna do each time.
The less preferred pipe.
Yeah.
So we actually interviewed Jonathan Pajot, and that's coming out on Monday for subscribers. Tuesday for all you other people. And that was a great conversation. This guy is a deep thinker. If you don't know who Jonathan Pajot is, he was the guy who was on Jordan Peterson's podcast when like Peterson was, like felt like he was like that close to becoming a full-on Christian.
He was like in tears talking
He's
about
in tears.
Christ.
It was a great.
It was
you should watch
fascinating,
that, but then watch our episode too.
Yeah, watch this one harder.
Yeah, watch it harder. You could put one on each eye and watch both. Well, did you have anything cool happening this week? Adam Yenser?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed having Labor Day off. I did some stand up a couple nights ago.
Okay.
Oh, there's a little dive bar in my neighborhood that I go to sometimes, and they just started a bottle service at this dive bar, and it was my friend's birthday.
What's bottle service?
Like where you pay way too much for a bottle of liquor at the bar, and they bring it out, and your table drinks the bottle.
The whole bottle.
It's something people do at like clubs in Las Vegas and stuff. There's no reason for this dive bar to have it, but they've had this sign up for months saying that they now have bottle service. And so it was my friend's birthday. So as a joke, we ordered bottle service. and the staff had no idea what they were doing because no one had
they
had ever, and they're like, you're the first people to ever order bottle service at the Oaks in Sherman Oaks. So that was the most interesting thing that happened to me this week.
Did I ever tell my pie thief story?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, this is one of those weird, kind of almost barely related to that, but only that like.
But it sparked the memory.
It sparked the memory.
Yes.
I was on a date with this girl, and it was late at night at this one of these Denny's type places, and they had a pie
fancy
case.
date.
Yeah, it was like a pie case. When we had been dating for a while, we were going out. I mean, we went out for late night pie. So the lady goes to get our pie, and she has to get her keys out and unlock the pies from the pie case. And so she comes back, and I'm just, it's hilarious that when you have pie thieves around here, that you have to lock the pie up. Is it really that bad? Like, she had to actually get her jangling keys out. So she goes, I don't know. It's actually just kind of ridiculous. And then she walks away, and like literally moments later, like the grubbiest guy you can imagine, like if you had come up with like concept art for what a pie thief looks like, he walks up to the pie case and he's like pawing at it, trying to get into it and shaking it, and looking around like the Hamburglar, and then he just walks out. It was like something off of like a Norm Macdonald sketch.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
That was the greatest moment.
You should make like a short film about it and call it The Pie Thief.
But she seemed baffled. I think that was it. She seemed baffled by the keys too. Like,
yeah.
But then it was all confirmed.
It's a lot to keep the pies safe at Denny's.
All right, let's do some weird news.
Cool.
This news is weird.
Landlord finds 19 tarantulas and a python abandoned in apartment. Huh. All right. So animal rescuer Drew Desjardins, famously known as Mr. Drew and his animals too. Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Oh, why didn't they just say Mr.
Yeah,
Drew?
and his animals
and
too.
his animals too.
He was called to a Maine apartment last week after the landlord discovered a former tenant left behind 15 living tarantulas, 4 dead ones, and 1 ball python that had no water.
I like that they account for the 4 dead tarantulas. like, I feel like you could leave like you don't have to cite how many dead bugs were in a house when you like.
Yeah,
When you,
they're at the level of.
There
bug.
was also 15 dead flies. And an ant lying on the counter.
tarantula has attained the level of bugness where it gets to like be counted among the dead.
But that's true. I don't like spiders. I'm afraid of spiders. But tarantulas, as much as I find them gross, they're almost so big that they count as an animal in my brain.
They're big and
like,
furry.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to step on it.
No.
I think once it reaches a level where if you step on it, that would be a traumatic experience for you too.
And it says the ball python that had no water.
Did
the other animals have water? There's so many odd details in this story.
Very strange details.
But I don't think they can evict them because of Biden's rules. I think the landlord has to let the tarantulas stay there because they're unemployed.
Like some kind of squatters' rights or something.
Yes, they're gonna send the python $300 every month, and it can live in the apartment as long as possible.
I mean, this python's a single python has to take care of 15 living tarantulas.
Like a sitcom. the Brady Bunch with the python in the middle and just, what is it? 15 living tarantulas and 4 dead ones around.
The 4 dead ones are a little easier to take care of, but they're still work.
It says all the animals he recovered are illegal in Maine and will have to be relocated. You can't let tarantulas loose in Maine, I guess.
Mr. Drew and his animals too.
Yeah. All right, here's another one. A man was caught trying to smuggle 350 pounds of meat across the U.S.-Mexico border. It says Customs and Border Protection agriculture specialist discovered the meat at around 6 a.m. on August 26th. The man, a 20-year-old United States citizen, was carrying 320 pounds of pork bologna and 30 pounds of turkey ham in the back seat of a 2012 Honda Odyssey.
So I was hoping it was going to be like one of those like cocaine smuggling where he like duct taped tons of 350 pounds of meat to his body and just like trying to walk across the border like a human sausage.
Exactly. He's trying to hide the bologna. But he says he was trying to sneak it into Texas. Like, I didn't think there was a shortage of meat in Texas.
And bologna?
Yeah.
Like, what is the markup? Like, you're going to bring free...
Oh, the bologna markets are hot right now.
So, like, whatever you can buy bologna...
They're shorting bologna. It's been undervalued for a while, and it's really going to...
Would you know where to go if you had 350 pounds of black market bologna to make some dough on it?
No.
And, like, open up your briefcase?
You got to go check if it's pure first. Says the driver admitted that he tended to resell the meat in the U.S., which incurred a $1,000 fine and seizure of the products. The CBP subsequently destroyed the meat.
Destroyed the meat. They could at least feed it to their dogs or something.
But I think, does that just mean like one of the guys just ate it? Like, oh, he destroyed that bologna.
But then they like put it in that, the bomb squad has that thing where they put a bomb in there and close it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, they just put all the meat in there, explode it in the little chamber.
Exactly.
Somehow, this stuff has to be out of existence.
Maybe they just put it, sometimes if you put it in the microwave on high and just way overcook it, it blows up. That's probably what they did with all the pork products.
I would like it if it was really expensive and intricate. Like,
Yeah.
we have to drive this out to, wherever, to the Air Force base, have it put on a rocket shot to Mars.
Yeah.
It has to go through some kind of atmosphere where it disintegrates.
But I've heard that meat smugglers always use 2012 Honda Odysseys. That's
the
their
meat
preferred.
smugglers'
That's their preferred
car of
vehicle.
choice.
Yeah.
I would love to know if this is the thing this guy's been doing, and I want to know that I want to interview him.
Yeah. You should
Why
have
are you doing this, and is it worth it?
Yeah.
Because if it's worth it, then I'm interested.
I think Jordan Peterson had him already.
Oh, sad. Hey, security footage captured a person dashing around on all fours in the dead of night. And if you look at the video, she looks naked.
She does appear naked. We looked very close.
We did. We
determined-
zoomed
we were
way
like, oh,
Security footage, which some people believe is out of Mexico, shows a person, it looks like a female, dashing around on all fours, and it's about the creepiest thing you'll see all week, according to Not the Bee. This odd human doesn't just dash past one camera; it's like going all around the building.
yeah,
it looks
like multiple cameras catch her. I think it's her as she runs around.
skittering.
It's
more of a
very-
human skittering.
It's very weird. Yeah, I can't tell what it is, and I like that they say they believe it's out of Mexico. But who knows?
And I was trying to find if there's any update to figure out who
Yeah.
this is. Like, this girl must be like, oh, I'm all over the internet now.
Yeah, but it's I can't tell if she's like doing it as a prank or some sort of weird exercise, or if she's on something or just out of her
There's
mind.
one moment where
like-
she really like jolts weird. Like,
it looks like horror. It
exorcism
looks
style.
like horror movie footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
That's what So my buddy, after he saw The Matrix,
He ran around naked on all fours.
no, he got in his car and
I see where this is going.
he had like this like giant station wagon boat, but he just like went and he got a reckless driving ticket because he was so amped up by like the music.
Really?
Like he said, I just had that Rage Against the Machine song in my head, and I was so amped up. He just started driving all crazy. It was like 2:00 in the morning, but so I was wondering if she had just seen like Exorcism of Emily Rose or something. She's all inspired. Something she got something inspired her to go out there and do her best exorcist impression.
It reminded me like were you ever like a little kid and you tried to like run up the stairs on all fours or anything like that? I feel like that's something like little kids do
I
sometimes.
mean, I was like pretty fat by the time I was 7.
Oh,
so.
okay.
So yeah, no.
I
did like sliding
I was
down
in
on my butt.
super good shape at 7.
Rip 7-year-old.
Yes. All right. Kansas football fans storm the field after beating South Dakota, a team that basically plays in the B League. So the University of Kansas hadn't won a football game since October 29th, 2019, and apparently their fans thought it appropriate to storm the field after barely beating a team that doesn't even play in the highest level of college football. They play in the FCS, not the FBS. But that's like, you don't know much. You said
I
you
have no
you
idea
haven't
what's
followed
going on right
sports
now.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy though that they would storm the field after. They might as well storm
they
the
just
field after every
they haven't
game.
felt the feeling of victory in so long that even though
Yeah.
they just defeated apparently
Like
some
a
crappy team
cupcake.
from the
Yeah.
SC.
South Dakota really gets hurt in this story because
Yeah, they're
it's like,
just
oh,
getting crapped on
nobody
left and
should
right.
celebrate beating South Dakota.
yeah.
Everyone beats
Everyone-
them.
What's their record?
Yeah. I wonder if they tore
They're
down the
the underdogs.
goalposts or anything like that. So storming the field is usually reserved for victory over ranked teams like Ohio State or Alabama. I like that. Like when they do damage, like they're never supposed to storm the field. But I like that this article like says it's justified if it's Ohio State or Alabama. You beat them, you just go nuts. Just tear down street lights.
Break
Just
The government will cover it.
exactly.
South Dakota, they're not even top 10 team.
No.
In the lower division. Come on. Even not, I know.
You're a big
know
sports
that 'cause
fan
I just read it.
reading that off of the notes.
Come on. I never understood any of the passion. Like I'm envious of people that are passionate about sports. I can't give anything that make me run out
See,
onto a field and freak out.
I went to Penn State, and that's like a school like where you cannot go there without getting into football. It's just the like culture and the environment here is. I mean, I know people that said that they thought they could, but almost everyone I know who went, it's just like the college football does have this really like fun atmosphere and energy to it.
No, that's not my envy of it. Is like there's so much of it, and people are so impassioned about it, and I'm envious of having that passion for something. So I always want to get the bug, but I never.
Are there any?
I don't understand the rules.
Are there any sports you follow or not really?
I have gotten into boxing now and then. Okay. I was really into it for a while, but at least I kind of understood. I started reading all these books on boxing and boxers, and I'm fascinated by it. But part of it is because I never played football, and I think that having just knowing the sport, when I got into boxing and started learning, like just kind of I did it for a little while until I messed my neck up. That made it much more interesting to me. So that's probably part of it.
It's definitely better when you can understand the rules. I mean, I've been following college football for like 18 years, and I probably understand about 30% of the rules.
Okay. That's more than me. Way more. Hey, the California Senate just passed a bill to help us, requiring gender-neutral displays for toys and childcare products in stores. So California is going to, or could soon force large department stores to display some child products in gender-neutral ways after the state legislature passed a bill on Wednesday aimed at getting rid of traditional pink and blue marketing schemes for items like toys and toothbrushes. Finally.
How is that necessary? Like, it's just so bizarre. Not only that, like, I get just letting stores, if they want to do that, do it. But it's weird that the state, how is the state forcing stores to put everything in a gender-neutral aisle? And the only gender-neutral toy I know of now is like the potato head, like the androgynous. I just imagine it's just aisles and aisles of androgynous potato head figures.
Yeah, I want to see the workup that they've put together. Yeah. Here's a perfect aisle of toys, perfectly blended. Like, for one thing, toy aisles are, I mean, it's just like...
Here's Barbie driving like a Tonka truck. Figure that one out, traditional parents.
Also, it's just categories. Like, I want... hair and makeup and model type stuff. Like, that's all going to be in one aisle. Like, there's a few different aisles of girl stuff.
And I don't think people have ever been like boys usually have more of one kind of toy and girls usually have more of another kind. But like growing up as a kid, like I knew, like I had two brothers, and there was probably a few like girls' toys that wound up in our toy chest at some point. And there's like, I knew girls that had guys' toys. Nobody was ever like real strict about, no, get that away from them.
I feel like this is like one of the most ongoing myths.
Yes.
That there's this, you're going to play your role. And like, no, it's just generally guys are interested in I was never interested in trucks at all.
Like when me and my brothers were kids, we had like a kitchen set. Like, and
my son loves the kitchen set.
Oh, we love telling my mom to make us a sandwich in there.
I can't follow that. I don't know. I have thoughts, but it says more. It says more. The bill would not allow traditional boys and girls sections in department stores. So that goes a little further. It doesn't even allow traditional sections.
It would outlaw them.
It would require retailers to have a gender-neutral section to display a reasonable selection of items, regardless of whether they have been traditionally marketed to girls or boys. So, like, is it just items that boys and girls like, or like you said, are they trying to make like a fashion set? A fashion and grilling set or something. What do you...
And there's always that sort of absurdity in this thinking where, like, if you're saying that both boys and girls can play with any toys, how do you determine then what is a boys or girls toy? Like, you could have an aisle of, Tonka trucks and Ninja Turtles and He-Man and say, oh, that's girls' toys. They could like that stuff.
Right.
Like, it's just
it is like
all
that.
absurdity.
They're trying to have two truths at once.
Yeah.
Right? That there are such a thing as boys and girls, but there's also not.
Yeah. But here's a story.
Social construct.
But here's a story that makes way more sense.
This will help.
Ford made a very gay Raptor truck. And yes, that is literally its name. You can see this on Twitter. I guess, I don't know, were people asking for this or something? It's apparently
That's some sort of... Their tweet says, you asked Ford to make the very gay Raptor a reality, and we heard you.
Yeah, I don't know who the you is that asked for this. The same guy who wants the girls and boys sections mixed asked them to make a very gay Raptor. It says it's some sort of F-150, and it's like this yellow Ford, and it has a rainbow on it and a pink heart on the back. But I like how, like, you're not allowed to say that pink things are for girls and blue things are for boys, but anything with a rainbow on it, you have to say is gay.
That's for the gays.
It's like, oh, now it's a gay truck because it has a rainbow on it.
So they could probably have a rainbow section.
And it says our real life. This is Ford's tweet from Ford Europe. It says our real life version made its debut at the Cologne Pride Parade last week in all its rainbow glory. So I don't know how they know that it's gay and not just French.
That's true. I don't know how you tell the difference. Very true. Hey, so Kyle's not here. So in memory of Kyle, he's alive.
He's gone on to a better place. He's at home. He's okay.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know where he is, but I think he's talking at something or something. Who knows? Vegan speed eater breaks 4 Guinness records. So not just any speed eater, a vegan speed eater, because that's what we want to see. Mike Jack. That's a great name. That should be like an action hero. Mike Jack is known for tackling spicy food challenges, and his YouTube channel
is he, though?
Is very popular.
I never heard of him.
No, Drew and his animals too, and Mike Jack. But recently, Jack, a vegan, tackled 4 Guinness World Records. And I assume this guy's just starving. He's vegan. First, he ate a banana, hands-free, in 37.8 seconds.
He must drive the gay raptor. And then he goes and eats bananas hands-free. Because it doesn't seem like that was part of the Guinness record standard.
That
seems like that was a conscious choice he made. Like, watch what I can do.
And is he like with his mouth up in the air, so it's going down this way, or is he like pushing into the table? I want to know how this is going.
We're pushing the boundaries of Babylon Bee material.
Yeah, that's true. It's getting suggestive.
It's getting spicy. No, but it says like I didn't know that was a thing that like specifically for vegan foods that you can speed eat. Like, does he like? I know when the what's the guy's name that does the hot dog eating? Like he dips them in water, and like does this guy like dip the banana in water and eat it? Like.
Well, he also, using a straw, he broke the record for the fastest time to drink 1 liter of tomato sauce. The time of 1 minute and 32 seconds. I don't know how many people are like, at the gate trying to beat that. I want to be the tomato sauce sucking champion of the world. Something's okay enough to. I don't know.
Wait, last time I was here, was that a few times? Didn't you guys try to break some record or something one time here with?
Yeah, it was
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
Yeah,
were you here for that?
Yes, and Kyle came close.
Kyle was right on. He was the record.
Yeah.
He then went on to attempt the record for the most almonds eaten in a minute and achieved it by chomping down on 32 almonds. Lastly, he attempted the record for the fastest time to eat a head of lettuce. No, don't comment on that.
I don't know what you mean. There's no way to make a joke out of that.
1 minute, 31 seconds.
How would I make a joke?
Wait, 1 minute, 31 seconds to eat a head of lettuce?
A head of lettuce.
That doesn't seem that. I want to try to beat that one.
I think you should try. If there's one of these you want to do, I feel like you should go for either the tomato sauce drinking or the eating a head of lettuce.
You know, eat the banana with hands free.
No.
Nobody wants to see that.
Exactly.
I feel like that should be easy to beat. A minute and a half? You can do anything in a minute and a half. All right.
Now, was this a regulation size head of lettuce?
Yeah, they have a regular. Yeah, what is the weight or whatever? Who knows? All right, we're going to try our new segment today. We're going to, there's fact checks, which are very important. Society needs
the fact checkers go after you guys a lot.
They go after us, which is important.
Yeah.
Because people need facts and they need them checked. But fact checking is a complicated business and they got a lot of work out there. So just for quality control, we will fact check the fact check. So here we are on Fact Check Check.
Let's check that fact check.
All right, so I already introduced it. So we're going to talk about ivermectin. Now, you are a professional fact checker.
I'm a professional fact checker.
So what goes into, how do you qualify yourself?
Don't question me. I said I'm a fact checker. So everything I say is a fact. I'm qualified because I know what the facts are.
So I'll propose a fact to you.
Fact check. I'm a fact checker.
You'll fact check it?
Fact check true. That's how you become a fact checker.
Okay. All right. Fact check. I might have to fact check that, but I don't have another fact checker to go to.
Well, that would require some sort of fact check.
Yeah.
I don't think they figured out how to do that yet.
Check.
Yeah.
How many facts could a fact check if a fact check could check facts?
Nobody knows.
All right, so we're going to get into...
let's get this
I've been saying ivermectin all day, and now I'm really against ivermectin.
They corrected you right before the show. I was so hoping that you would pronounce it wrong so that I could fact check your pronunciation of ivermectin.
All right, so we have a post from is it from the first post?
Yeah, that's the name of the website.
Okay, so they're talking.
Firstpost.com.
So we have a quote from that. But you said
the article here is called "Hey Joe Rogan, check your privilege and your facts," and they were fact checking his claims after recovering from COVID on his podcast. He's been talking about how he took ivermectin. People are going crazy over that. But
ivermectin is the horse deworming medicine that everybody's talking about.
Fact check. It's not just a horse deworming medicine. That apparently has been used for humans for years for other things. But
Deworming
somehow,
them?
What's that?
Deworming them?
Deworming people. There's some sort of, what was it? There's some disease called river blindness that it said it cures. It's called
river blindness?
It's caused by parasites or something. It's
horrifying sounding.
And it won the Nobel Prize also. So it's unless it won the Nobel Prize for doing nothing like Obama did.
Never know.
But anyway, here's the.
Okay, so I'll read the quote. You tell me.
Okay.
Hey Rogan, check your privilege and your facts. So then he talks about the podcast where he's talking. The 3-hour podcast was 2 hours too long. The last time I willingly sat to watch anything that long was Snyder's cut of Justice League, which was at least well worth the time spent.
Verdict false. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 71%, the Snyder cut of Justice League, which is a C-. It is not well worth your time. It's just barely worth your time. This fact checker got that way wrong.
Yeah, well worth your time.
Yeah.
That's...
And he says the 3-hour podcast was 2 hours long. I believe it was actually an hour and 58 minutes long.
I didn't even catch that line. The 3-hour podcast was 2 hours too long.
So, yeah. Oh, I thought it said it was 2 hours long. It must say that because I'm the fact checker and I got...
That's true.
You must have made a mistake in there
Fact
somewhere.
check.
Fact check, check, check.
Okay, so the writer also says Rogan's podcast reeks of privilege.
Verdict false. Rogan's podcast does not reek of privilege. It reeks of pot smoke. From when Elon Musk was there, from when... I don't know. Does he smoke weed with all of his guests?
I think whenever he can.
Yeah. And then I was going to say it reeks of DMT also, but I don't know if you smoke that. I know he talks about that, but I'll have to fact check that, how DMT works.
I think you can drink it in tea, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. It's like mushrooms, I think. Ayahuasca.
Everybody loves those now, the psychedelic.
It's really popular.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rogan says we were lucky that this wasn't as bad as the Spanish flu. So the fact checker responds, the Spanish flu, according to some estimates, killed 50 million people. That is a lot higher than the 3 million deaths COVID-19 has caused so far. We have managed to avoid that number because governments put in place lockdown orders, mask wearing, and hand washing guidelines and pushed research in medicines and vaccines. What do you think of that one?
I would say fact check false.
Because I forgot to, at the end he says, isn't hindsight our biggest weapon against future outbreaks?
Yeah, hindsight is not our biggest weapon, and AR-15 is. And our biggest weapon against outbreaks is we got to aim guns at people who won't take the vaccine and just force them to take the vaccine is what I'm hearing.
And shut down their small businesses.
You can't take other medicines. You can't try experimental things. You just need to get this vaccine, and then you need to get the second dose, and then you need to get the booster shot, and then you need to get the fourth dose.
Right.
And we got to close down their small businesses and stay away from their ailing loved ones just forever. So,
right.
Yeah.
Which that's weird. That's his message changed because at the beginning he's saying the reason that we've avoided 50 million deaths is because the government, aiming its gun at everybody and telling them what to do. And then he changes his message at the end and says it's because of hindsight. I don't know if that's totally. And I guess for him, hindsight is we should have aimed more guns at people during the Spanish flu or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I mean, in hindsight, all those people with Spanish flu should have taken horse dewormer.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Only if it's Nobel Peace Prize horse.
When was the Spanish flu? Was that 19 teens or was that 1920 or?
Let me see if I can get a fact checker. Find out. Oh, what? Dan's got
I'm asking a lot of questions for the fact checker here. I'm like, I don't know. This bit's going really well. I think we should do it again.
1918?
1918.
1918.
Okay.
I feel like back then they had all sorts of crazy medicines. So they would be drink some
leeches and stuff.
Drink some whiskey for the Spanish flu.
Get in a bucket of leeches.
Yeah.
All right, so CNN, we'll go into CNN here. They fact-checked a story from Rolling Stone this week claiming that Oklahoma hospitals are turning away gunshot victims because they are overrun with people overdosing on ivermectin. They're like, get out of here, guy with a bullet wound in your chest. This guy just overdosed on horse deworming medicine.
Now, yes, the CNN fact-checker who fact-checked this story, it turned out to not be true, and he called it a poor piece of journalism. My verdict is false. At least by CNN's standards, this is not a poor piece of journalism, because CNN has made it clear that the purpose of journalism is to push an agenda, not report facts. Right. So this story was just Rachel Maddow could retweet it. All these left-wing people on Twitter could retweet it. They could, call everyone stupid for taking ivermectin, even though there was very few people actually taking ivermectin. And then they tried to look up this doctor that like the Rolling Stone initially cited that said all the hospitals were backed up, and the hospital said he didn't even work at that hospital. So it's like they won't listen to like Dr. Ben Carson, but they'll listen to these hey, this guy that called us on the phone and said gunshot victims can't get hospital beds. But they should only listen to real doctors like Dr. Phil and Dr. Jill Biden.
Absolutely. Now, Joe Rogan was also criticized for using ivermectin, which many outlets claim is a horse deworming medicine and not intended for humans.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about at the beginning. Like, it's false. It has been used for humans for years. And, like, what I think is so funny about all this, the people that, at least that I know, like, on Facebook and Twitter that are all, like, ranting about ivermectin and saying you should trust the science and, like, don't take these medications that people don't know what they do. These are the same people that they, like, they'll use healing crystals and like use sage to cleanse themselves, and they take that airborne stuff. Like everybody always used to recommend that I take airborne. That stuff it's crap. It's like it's never been proven to work. But people in the office would always be like, "Oh, you gotta take airborne."
Are you taking airborne?
But then they'll be like, "Oh no, you gotta trust science." None of these people have listened to science ever before in their life until CNN and politicians started telling them they have to respect science.
And finally, we have a USA Today fact check. It claimed that ivermectin being given to Afghan refugees is missing context.
Yeah, this one was weird because they claimed there was a tweet or something that went viral that said, "Guess who's getting ivermectin? Afghan refugees." And they said it was missing context because they always try to find a way to, like, when something's true but they don't want to admit it's true, they always say it's missing context and they give their argument for it. But it said the Afghan refugees are being given ivermectin to treat parasites, so it's not to treat COVID. But it literally said that apparently all, like, Asian and Middle Eastern immigrants to the United States from other parts of the world for a long time have been getting ivermectin to treat parasites in their stomach. So they've been giving this to humans for years, but then when people started taking it for COVID, they go, "No, that's just a horse deworming medicine."
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're saying, no.
Yeah.
This medicine is not made for humans.
No.
It's made for horses and Afghans.
This isn't made for humans. It's made for Afghan refugees. That's more offensive than, like, just taking ivermectin and saying it's for humans.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, we're going to move on to... thanks for checking all those facts.
Yeah.
So...
Are you going to do an outro? Like a...
Outro.
Hey, sorry to interrupt that hilarious podcast that you were just listening to, but my buddy Ethan and I here were thinking you might not be a Babylon Bee subscriber, and we need to correct that.
Yeah, in fact, I could smell it in the room. It smells like a non-subscriber in here.
Or is that cow farts?
Could be cow farts.
I can't tell.
Hey, if you subscribe, you get this giant, awesome, beautiful coffee table book full of beautiful images.
What?
And hilarious stories.
Premium subscribers get this for a limited time, which is crazy because this book is like half the cost of a Babylon
It's like a brick of gold.
Anyway, and yeah, it's awesome.
So you get a coupon code for cheaper merchandise. You get to be part of the community. The advantages are endless to be a Babylon Bee subscriber.
Literally infinite.
Oh, you get our bloopers from our...
Oh, yeah, those are really fun.
Those are hilarious. A gas. So please, go to babylonbee.com/plans.
Subscribe.
Become one of the elite.
The few.
The Babylon Bees. All right, now we had an interesting week. Tripwire CEO John Gibson steps down after posting a pro-life tweet. So one of the guys that works with us here, AJ at the Babylon Bee, has worked in video games. He's actually used to work with this guy, John. So
really?
He sent us the tweet before things blew up. He's like, this is my buddy. He's starting to get a lot of heat because he almost never talks politics publicly, and he even said in his oh, you know what? I actually posted the wrong tweet on there. He said, he basically said, that, you know, in entertainment, people rarely express their views.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, so few people in my industry are going to say something on, you know, positive about this, but I'm just glad for the heartbeat bill in Texas.
Yeah. And that's literally all he's like, he didn't say anything like controversial beyond just that he supports the bill, which I get some people are mad about, but it's not like he put it in some sort of like offensive or particularly controversial way. And
it was
he's
kind
still
of
got
like
all this backlash.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's like
I know everyone in my industry is going to say the opposite. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's just for someone to say like,
Yeah.
I'm happy about
and
it.
all of those people on the other side are allowed to tweet and rant and say as much as they want. You just can't support this other side, which is weird because a lot of people support that side.
Right, especially in Texas.
Yeah. And I think
I guess he's not in Texas, is he? Where is he?
I thought I assumed the company was in Texas. Maybe I'm wrong.
I could be wrong. We should look into that. Where's my fact checker?
Fact check. Fact checker says John Gibson lives in the United States of America.
Somewhere he lives on Earth, probably
Yes.
somewhere on land.
Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
Portland,
yeah. A
Oregon.
lot of those games are up in the Pacific Northwest.
But it also sucks how they always say that the person steps down or resigns.
But that explains it.
Because
He's in Portland, Oregon.
They're very like they always get pressured into doing this.
Clearly,
It's not like he tweeted this and then decided to quit the next day.
yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, he tweeted this thing and then he was just ready to give up his video game
Yeah,
career.
6-figure job.
Like, it makes no sense that people bully these, like anyone with a different point of view on social media so much. And there's such a backlash against it, which is just bizarre. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to, like, it's getting the point with some of these companies where they don't want you to be able to have a job if you're conservative. It's like, no matter what industry you're in, you cannot speak your views even outside of work.
Right.
If you're not on the left.
And the idea that like just to have like even this, you still got 6 weeks. And like this is like on the side of you know, if you're pro-life,
Yeah.
you see this as murder. And
Yes.
you're still giving them 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's seen as like that's not seen as being any bit you know, tolerant of another view. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And the company, this what was it called, Tripwire, the video game company. Their quote, like their press release said, his comments disregarded the values of our entire team, and so they make the game Chivalry 2, which is rated mature for intense violence, blood and gore, mild sexual themes, language, and alcohol. But saying that you're pro-life disregards the values of our entire team.
They also made Killing Floor 2, blood and gore, intense violence, language, partial nudity. And they're also really well known for Man-Eater, which you play a shark and like the entire goal is to eat as many people as possible.
It's so weird. It's like, yeah, this guy, you can't make Killing Floor 2 and be pro-life.
Well, it is
apparently.
consistent,
Like,
right? It is consistent. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we're a very pro-murder company
Yes.
here. We can't be pro-life.
Here at Tripwire, we value killing and man-eating,
Yeah.
not saving babies.
Yeah, not man-saver.
Yeah.
So we had, you know, the game journalists came out in full force with this guy, this blue check, Imran Khan. So he said, if any Tripwire employees want to talk anonymously about their feelings on John Gibson for a story, feel free to DM me from my Signal, an encrypted messaging service that is locked down and safe. Now, if that sounds like he's looking for like, you know, just to get the real story, maybe from people that liked him,
Yeah.
we could get him that. We
'cause
got
that's
a
the
guy
thing.
that knows him.
And I'm sure that, sorry to get up,
No, no.
but I'm sure there are people at this company who agree with him. But
Right.
then, like, it's probably, you know, it may not be
Now
a
they know not
majority.
to- they know to
but
shut up.
that it intimidates everyone. That's
Yeah.
what their goal is in all this, to say, you know, oh, this is our whole company. This is how we feel.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It seems like this should. I mean, I hate most laws, but like some kind of law, you can't fire a guy or whatever for expressing an opinion, especially something
It is
that's
really getting out of control. Yeah.
something that's that ubiquitous, like big enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, this same guy later tweeted, he's because he's a journalist, so he did some deep dive research here. In like 5 minutes of research, it's become clear that Tripwire president John Gibson put his own Christian metal band in Killing Floor 2, including the song Disunion Reconstructed, which features these lyrics. And then after showing some lyrics, which are so damning, he said, "I'm just saying, a lot of clues for this were already in place. Like they should have fired him a long time ago because there was clues that he was pro-life."
Yeah. But that's a shame because I really enjoyed playing Killing Floor 2 for the Christian music.
Yeah, that's why you go. That's why you go. Yeah, play that.
Yeah.
Let's read some lyrics. Let's see. Who gives a S word about politics? I'd like to share a thing or two about heretics. You see, evil infiltrated our government, and it wear a masquerading of sentiment. I forgot to tell you that you can't pray at school. I hope that you know that you can pray after school, and please don't mention Christ on the job. Wonder why I'm feeling like I have been robbed. Conquer to control the people. What is the first thing you do? Guns? Please take them away so they can't resist you. Who took God out of the news? Took the people out of God. Took all their rights away. Now when people push until they break, rip children from the womb before they ever had a chance to see they're alive, look into their unborn eyes. Extremist language there. Oof.
Jeez. I'm surprised this guy lasted as long
Fired
as
on
he
the
did.
spot.
Yeah.
People just don't
It's
read
crazy.
lyrics. That's the problem.
But it is so crazy that the political left and these sort of mobs on Twitter have gotten so much power in this area.
Yes.
Because with something like abortion or any political topic, now I know sometimes it's 40-60, sometimes it's 50-50, but with all these issues, half the country roughly agrees with the person that's being fired or that's being told they're not allowed to say that. Like when celebrities and stuff like get in trouble for supporting Trump or something, it's like half of this country supports Trump.
Yeah.
Like you can't say,
And so that's
oh,
gotta be-
they don't have a place in any company. They don't have a place in any field in the entertainment industry. It's crazy.
And I think gaming is gaming companies are up in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, so they're going to be very far left. But I do think that their audience is massive.
Yeah.
And it's got to be closer to the normal range of people that are probably closer to half and half on this. Maybe they lean pro-choice, but not to the extent that, because they're serving this tiny mob. People that get on Twitter to outrage and these little weaselly people that live to cancel people. That's who they're serving. That has to, what percentage of the U.S. population and even their audience is that?
Yeah, but I mean, I do see why a video game company wouldn't want to be pro-life because most of their customers don't have a life.
Pro barely existing.
Yes, pro no life.
No life.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if John will ever see this or not. Every time stuff like this happens, the question for me is, there's got to be enough people, not even just conservatives or Christians, people that just hate the cancel culture thing.
Yeah.
That would rather work in an industry where that's just not tolerated.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we start that, but there's got to be so many people and people with money and people with talent. And how do we get those people together?
Yeah. And I wish we could do that, but also like what's weird for me is like that seems the direction things are going, like conservative companies and liberal companies.
Yeah, and
I don't want it to be that way.
Because
like,
that's what
there's
liberals
no
did.
reason that you
exactly.
can't both work, in the same place and just say, "Oh, I disagree with them."
Right.
But we're making video games. You're allowed to have your private political opinions.
That's why I don't
state them
want a
publicly.
conservative company.
Yeah. And then what I think where conservatives are often at a disadvantage, there are boycotts every now and then that are sort of tried to be spawned on by conservatives, but they rarely catch on as quickly or to a degree where like entire companies pander to them.
Yeah. Well, they get the signal loose from the media.
Something like this, it's like, why is this company not worried that people who are pro-life and play their video games will say, well, no, I don't want to buy this company's product because they're against me.
Yeah.
Like if you just stay out of it and you say, hey, there's people that work at our company on both sides,
right?
You're not putting your company in the position where it's a political platform.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, because exactly, I want to work with people of all. I mean, there's so much talent.
Yeah,
and I don't want to. Just
there's
wipe
people
out
here
half
from
of
the
talent.
center right to the far right and everywhere in between.
Right here, we got the farthest right you can get. We got a few KKK guys back there working on some jokes for us.
See, Snopes is going to say that's true now. They're going to say, oh, well, they admitted it.
Well, fact check.
Fact check. They have KKK working at the Babylon Bee.
But hey, our CEO, Seth Dillon, posted, the champions of tolerance and diversity will destroy you and apologize for ever knowing you if you express the wrong opinion on Twitter. I hope John never apologizes, and I hope he starts his own game development company. I'd love to play a role in funding it. So, people talented in video games, Mr. Gibson out there, you already got some funding if you want to start a company. I want to come up with some art for one. I've always wanted to come up with a video game.
That's awesome that Seth is standing up for them, though, and offering them that. Because, That's what people like that need in that situation.
I do think that Gina Carano's response was one of the better responses ever in cancellation. She didn't apologize. She just went, all right, fine, I'll go make movies elsewhere.
Yes, yeah.
And
apologizing never
works,
wins. It's just then they know they have power over you
Yeah.
and they can keep pushing you further and further, and you're never going to get your career back anyway.
And it looks like she's going to be back on Star Wars. From
That would be
everything
awesome.
I've been hearing that she's they've actually already worked it out, and she's supposed to be coming for like season 4 or something.
Oh,
and they have
that's-
another show they've agreed. So
Nice.
I don't know how for sure that is, but it sounds like she's going to be back. And to me, like that's great progress. I want to see liberals and conservatives working together in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't want it to break off into 2 separate Hollywoods or game
Yeah.
woods. I don't know what you call it. Game. What do you call the game industry? Game.
Yeah, what is that? Because it's not like Silicon
Game
Valley. It's
town.
like, is there a name for the video game industry?
Because it's all over the place. There's so many.
Yeah, I mean, I think of that area up in Portland and the Pacific Northwest, but
There's a lot of those. There's like
yeah.
San Diego. It's all over the place.
yeah, that. All right, want to do some hate mail?
Let's read some hate mail.
I really miss Adam Ford.
All right, so this isn't exactly hate mail. This is a hate tweet, and it's kind of more of like a. I don't know if it's hate. It's kind of just a disagree, an unhappy disagreeing tweet. But we have context. Kyle tweeted about Rolling Stone magazine being fake news and how our Wikipedia page calls us misogynistic and transphobic because of Rolling Stone. So they used their fact check source, Rolling Stone, expressing their opinion about the Babylon Bee. So this lady, Mrs. O'Grady, said, in my opinion, if she's Mrs. O'Grady, in my opinion, the Bee intentionally post misogynistic and racially insensitive stuff to the extent that I can't do an Irish lady. I wonder if some of the writers grew up on the Fox or Limbaugh and can't see it objectively. Presumably it's to trigger the libs, but sadly I don't think it honors Jesus, eh? It's terrible. The worst. I don't even know what that accent was. Hey, top of the morning. Hada. In my opinion, I can't do it.
All right, and now this next tweet is from an Asian person. No, I'm kidding.
Let's get Brandon in here. He's here.
But what was her point in tweeting this?
We're insensitive.
I wonder. It's also weird. They always go for this thing because I've been accused of this. Like when people find out I'm conservative, they say, "Oh, you must just listen to Fox News and Rush Limbaugh all the
Right.
time." Like, I don't really.
I know.
But they think that we're all just like listening to Fox News and that's what makes you this way.
Yeah, I feel like I wish they got like. Well, my dad listened to Rush Limbaugh a lot as a kid.
Uh-huh.
When I was a kid, now he was a kid.
So you're proving me wrong. You
Yeah.
did get this way.
But no, but I do like see him as the kind of a crazy uncle in my
Yeah.
life in some ways. Like the main thing is that like just the fact that like I see the appeal of Rush Limbaugh and I get how he means so much to some people. I also get where I get his humor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an evil, horrible man that has children in his basement or whatever, especially now that he's not alive.
Mm-hmm.
But
He did leave behind 4 dead tarantulas.
did he? Okay. Well, that changes everything, actually. Just the fact that you won't call him that, just on the level with Charles Manson or
Yeah.
whatever, then you're bad. And even Fox News, like there's plenty of Fox News that makes me cringe hard.
Well, that's the thing that's weird is like that I feel the same way you do about Rush Limbaugh. Like some of the stuff he said I agree with and I liked. I was never like a diehard fan where I tuned in every day. And some of the things, even if I agreed with it, I get he was like a sensational radio personality.
Right.
He would say things, to rile people up.
Right.
But like, yeah, and then they attack Fox News also. Like I'll watch Fox News sometimes during the day and they're reporting like,
Oh, you will you?
I will. And their reporting during the day is not like super like they get presented, for instance, for being like anti-vax and stuff because of stuff that like Tucker Carlson says. But if you watch during the day, there's lots of people on there saying the vaccine is safe, you should get it. Like it's like different views that are on there, but they look at it as everyone who's conservative must have been brainwashed by Fox News and Rush Limbaugh.
Right. Yeah, they have this idea that we must be part of some cult. It has to be that. because then you don't have to argue with any of the ideas, right? So if you're just a cult member, well, then you're just
Yeah.
crazy and brainwashed.
But what was Mrs. O'Grady's point? So she says they post.
So we can't see objectively.
Well, and she said that you intentionally post misogynistic and racially insensitive stuff.
We post stuff that is
Presumably to
perceived as
trigger
that
the-
by our very delicate culture.
Yeah. And she says, sadly, I
because
don't.
they make the rules about what is misogynistic. And
Yes, everything they disagree
So
with,
yes,
they can
we're
call that.
challenging those rules for sure.
Yeah.
Presumably, it's to trigger the libs. I'd say absolutely, especially if coming from
Fact check true. It is to trigger the libs.
and have a good laugh.
Yeah.
I do think one thing that the libs don't get is the kind of joke that is kind of like they think every joke is made in pure hate.
Yes. Yeah. There's no like.
And there's
no
you
tongue in
understand there's like
cheek
a
of
little
it.
elbow nudge, like yeah, libs, come on, we can all laugh together, right? Come on, it's funny.
Yeah.
Because I think even Limbaugh had that. Like I think he was just
Oh yeah.
he's making these over the top jokes about himself being the most perfect human being on earth and stuff because it just drove people nuts that hated him.
Yeah. But
Sadly-
sadly, this doesn't honor Jesus. She says.
I'm not gonna say what honors and doesn't honor, but I do. I guess I do think I do get annoyed by the definition of honoring Jesus by being very like the kind of the Kirk Cameron, and I think that there's plenty of examples in Scripture where people weren't complimentary to bad ideas. They were, you treat your opponents on the same level of human that
Yeah.
you are, and rather than kind of just playing nice.
Yeah.
So I do agree that, or I would say, if she sees us as being mean, I get why she says that. I don't think that our intentions are never to be mean. Our intentions are always to point out absurdities
Yeah.
and hypocrisy. And I think that's pretty biblical.
And I mean, my intention is never to be misogynistic, except in that kitchen set joke. My intention was to be misogynist.
Right. And to trigger the libs.
But sometimes stuff like that, it's done tongue in cheek. Like,
Right.
like that's what I think you're getting at also. There's like, sometimes there is a self-awareness in the joke. It's a meta joke on that
Right.
you're taking an offensive position or that you're taking this to like an absurd degree.
Exactly.
And they think, oh, that's what they really think. That's what
Exactly.
they really mean in their hearts. And it's like,
And that's the loss. Like, I don't even know how well blue collar comedy tour would do today, as because the climate
fart
has
jokes are
gotten
still
so
pretty
bad.
popular.
That's true, but and I think one thing I love about the right or more conservative South people in the South, they like jokes about themselves more than
Yeah.
the left, but that seems to be getting lost. Like, we can't joke about our own side anymore. It triggers people bad.
There was a really there's a book I've read called The Humor Code, and it was a psychologist and a philosopher, and they traveled around the world trying to figure out like what makes things funny. Have you ever heard of this book? And they came up with like a really interesting theory about it. But one of the studies they mentioned in there that's fascinating, it was one chapter is about the difference between left-wing humor and right-wing humor. And like book was written a few years ago, so like the redneck humor and stuff was kind of popular. And what was interesting is it said that people on the right do indeed find things that are like racially insensitive or insensitive against, protected groups and classes funnier. But they also find jokes about themselves funnier.
Right.
So it's that their whole sense of humor covers a broader range of things. And I know I've thought that way sometimes when people get offended by a joke. It's like, wait, if I can laugh at myself about these things, why can I not make a joke about these other people? Whereas people on the left who will say, the right is just this mean, insensitive humor. But the people on the left, they don't like jokes about certain other groups, and they get more sensitive about jokes about themselves. It's just like a narrower window of what they find funny.
Yeah, it ruins your sense of humor
Yeah.
to take yourself that seriously.
Exactly, yeah.
And I do feel like that's been one of the bad sides of the way that the right has gone. I do think that they are taking themselves a little too seriously. They're being a little too they're putting their politicians a little too up on pedestals, especially since Trump.
Yeah.
They get very touchy about making jokes about the right, and get over it. Come
Yeah.
on. Have fun. Come on, you guys. All right. Let's that was our hate mail. Is that the show? We did it? Did we do it?
Subscribe.
I think that's it.
We're
Do you
going to
guys
the
do it?
subscriber lounge, and we're going to
Cool.
go read some bonus hate mail. Check out some headlines from you guys. And have we done the second 10 questions with Adam?
I had it ready for him. them.
All right, we're going to do
goody.
second 10
I get
questions
to
with
know another
Adam.
10 questions.
Yeah. So if you want to join us for that in the subscriber lounge, wearing our cool smoking jackets and checking out all our cool knickknacks, then click that join button if you're on YouTube, or if you want to get the whole package, go over to babylonb.com/plans. Until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
And have fun, Kyle, wherever you are.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee
Because
subscribers.
there's so many people creating content, it's just watered down what quality content is. It's very niche, and along those lines, it has to be like clickbaity.
Yep.
It
You have to get clicked on.
I always say like it's hard to think today of like a Monty Python rising to prominence or an SNL rising to prominence. It's just like, it's great that people can reach the world, but it's like it's given everyone this platform where it's hard for the best thing to rise to the surface, other than whatever is like the most clickbaitable.
Wondering what they'll say next? The rest of this podcast is in our super exclusive premium subscriber lounge. Go to babylonb.com/plans for full-length ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave D'Andrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.